To Mr. Spencer Wilding.
Hey guys, I'm a small town in Real, North Wales, so say hello to Real. So,
Welcome. How you doing? So I know that last year you stopped over in Topeka for TopCon. Is this your first trip to Kansas City?
it sure was, and I'm a really big fan of The Wizard of Oz as well, so I had a feeling I had to come to Kansas. So, and you're all beautiful. Can't believe how lovely you are towards, the front's lovely as well.
Nice. So have you been stuck here, or have you been able to get out into the city at all?
I'm sure over this weekend we'll sure adventure.
Okay.
Yeah?
So I'm going to ask you the question that everyone in the city is going to ask you, and that is, have you tried our barbecue?
Yeah, last night, I forget the name of the place, but yeah, oh yeah, I can hardly walk. You know when you get full, well I passed full, and I just kept on asking for more. But it was like I must have ate 3 balls last night, no problem. It was real good.
Was it Kansas City Joe's? Was it in a gas station?
It wasn't in a gas station.
So I'm gonna give you just a professional tip here, all right? Just go to Kansas City Joe's Kansas City Barbecue, and order the Z-Man, the Z-Man, yes, and that'll end all conversations. Once you say that, everybody's like, all right, he's good. All right? Am I right?
Yeah. Cool. You having a good day? Woo! Yeah, thanks for inviting me over here. It's awesome. Yeah. Kansas Comicon.
All right, so to get started, just for those in the audience that aren't as familiar with your work, what I thought we would do would just sort of give them a brief history of the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Spencer Wilding. You okay with that?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So you're from Wales, right?
It's a little town called Rhyl in North Wales. It's where the seaside meets the mountain. We've got great families, great kids, just like you guys over here. Big hearts, the Welsh. You know what I mean?
And prior to getting into acting, you were in kickboxing, right?
That's right.
So can you just kind of take us back, go through a little bit of what it was like growing up in Wales, and how you got into the kickboxing scene?
Well, Wales, where I'm from, Rhyl, it's a very small town, So I went to my first school was called Ysgol, and it was a Roman Catholic school, very strict. And then I went to a high school, Prestatyn High School. Then I went into a farming college called Norfolk Cultural College and Police Fassy. And I've experienced many jobs. I live in a horse farm. I've been a builder. Blah 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 blah. But I always knew I had a feeling I was going to get into the films. But I was a heavy dyslexic. Couldn't read or write 15 years ago, so I didn't go to acting college. But I still had the feeling. I had a dream, and I just wanted to go for this dream. And whatever job I did, I always had a pull on the collar like that, saying, no, this isn't for you. Keep on moving forward, keep on moving forward. So I listened to my thoughts in my head, I call them my fight gods. And they said, well, Spen, how are you going to do it? You're going to get into the kickboxing ring, you're going to become a champion, and there'll be a guy in the audience go, hey, you want to be in a movie? But he wasn't there. But when I took the Welsh and British kickboxing title, there was a small shop in town, a photography shop, and I went there because my mum was very proud of me. I wanted to get a picture for the mantelpiece with me and my belts, and so we took these pictures. But when I went into the kickboxing, it was to get into the films. But I got so deep into there, I sort of forgot my dreams, and I thought, well, this is it. This is the kickboxing. This is the entertainment that I must have been feeling when I was a kid. So when they took the picture, Anthony Scott Lee. He rang me up like 3 days after the pictures were taken, and he said, Spen, your pictures are ready. I went, oh great. And he goes, hey Spen, these pictures, they look alright, man. I've got a friend in London that knows some people that have a sports agency that deal with sports people that are right at the top of the game, and they put them into the films. And then all of a sudden, this bright bulb went off in my head, and I went, yeah? He goes, well, do you mind if I send these pictures off? And I went, no. So like 2 days later, the owner of the agency come down and signed me up verbally, luckily, and the rest is history. So So yeah,
So acting was kind of always in the back of your mind, on the radar.
always a feeling. When I was a kid, I just knew I was going to be in the films. Yeah, it's weird.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I have a sneaking suspicion that the world of British Wales kickboxing and Hollywood filmmaking are a little bit different.
Yeah, a little bit.
So, was that a difficult transition to make from being the British Wales kickboxer to a movie?
When I first walked onto the Harry Potter set, when I landed the role, the werewolf in Azkaban, 2 weeks prior to that, I was fighting in the boxing ring, kickboxing ring, because I went pro boxing for a bit as well. So I was a kid that got signed up, and I knew nothing about acting. I was on a jolly, man. You know what I mean? I was just having fun. But I was straight in one of the biggest movie sets in the world, Harry Potter. And back in 2002, it was Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. It was when Harry Potter was right up there, It's come down a little bit now, but then it was just like, wow, I was giving Harry Potter and Hermione and Ron kickboxing classes, I was getting told off by the director saying, oh, you're turning the set into a kickboxing ring, And I'm like, what's the matter? Get my six-pack out, hey, what's the matter? It was really fun, and it was amazing. The kids were 14 years old when I trained them, do you know what I mean? Yeah, it was amazing.
So it sounds like you pretty much went straight from kickboxing into movies. I mean, there wasn't like a string of years where you were auditioning and getting rejected and having to deal with roadblocks and speed bumps.
Well, there was in the beginning, like when I got signed up. It was a sports agency, like I say. They sent me for the first thing they sent me for. I don't know if you heard of a film called Snatch. Yeah. Right, Guy Ritchie film. Right. So they sent me to 3 Mill Studios for an audition to play Tommy, who's completely different than me. We may sound like each other, but he was a short, over big life. Got to be careful with the words I use. And he was a Liverpudlian. So they sent me for the audition, but this was a kid he was a professional fighter, and I was from a town, and from a small town, like I knew nothing about acting. I couldn't read or write, literally like that. So I thought I was going to get on this train, get to London, there's going to be a red carpet there, and guys with trumpets going, you're in the movies, but that didn't happen. I got there, and they passed me my script, my dialogue, and I didn't even know what it was, because I couldn't read. The knowledge that I should have took in, I don't know if anybody's got dyslexia in the room, but the knowledge I should have taken in school, they didn't take it in because I was just a class clown. They didn't understand about dyslexia all them years ago. So they do now, it's a good time to have it. And so I completely crashed that audition. And then they would send me up for a few more things, and a few more things, and a few more things. And then the agency gave up on me then. I didn't hear from them for 9 months. But then I got a phone call off a friend saying, hey, are you still in the movies, Spen? And I said, well, no, you know what, I'm going to stick with the fighting. I can't even read or write, mate. So that's a dream I'll have to let go. I can't do it. And they go, well, Warner Brothers have been on the radio, on Radio 1, and looking for a really, really tall actor to play the werewolf. And then I went like that. I looked upstairs and went, all right, okay, you're going to get me in this way. So I got in touch with my agent, and I said, am I still to sign with you guys? And he said, oh yeah, we've been very busy. I said, all that. And I said, well, listen, Warner Brothers are looking for a really tall actor. It's a professional, they need a professional actor. It's a closed door. Can you get me the audition? Oh right, okay, we'll give you a ring back. 2 minutes later, they ran me back straight away. So I just knew I was going to get this part. And we had 3 callbacks at Leeds Studios, which is now the Harry Potter world. And 3 weeks into the auditions, I got the part, and that's when the roller coaster started to ride. Strapped myself in, and still here.
So you mentioned Snatch, which is one of my favorite films, but so you auditioned for that, didn't get it, which that casting director doesn't know what they were doing. You would have been perfect in that role. I would have made the movie so much better.
You know what? They were great with me. When I come out of the room, I got very emotional when I was in there, because it's very hard. When you're struggling to read, so you definitely can't act for one. And then when they come out of the room, they said, "Listen, Spen, you've got a face for the films we want. So get yourself some sight reading lessons and blah blah blah." And that's when I started to. It's about a cerebella. It's the muscle that didn't develop properly in childhood, the dyslexia. So I went on and done courses and this, that, and the other. Now I'm delivering lines with the big boys. So I've come a long way in a short time. So it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the start, which was Prisoner of Azkaban, Harry Potter. After that, you did some stunt work. You were Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Batman Begins, Beowulf. You got to be in Stardust with Robert De Niro in drag. I mean, who else can say that, right?
It's so cool. I remember the scene, you know when you've all seen Stardust, right? It's a great film, isn't it? So, as pirates went running into his room on the ship, and Mark Strong was just about to tried to kill him, and we all walked in and he jumped out the window and swam off and got away. So this is the first time we've seen Mr. De Niro, Bob, in a dress, because it was his thing. And so when they went cut, he said, was that all right? To me, he said. And I said, yeah, it's all right. Yeah. I said, but you look better with a gun in your hand, don't you? But no, it was great. It was awesome to work with one of my heroes, Robert De Niro, and but all of us love Robert De Niro. And it was just, I remember the first day we met Mr. De Niro, and they took us into one of the back rooms in Shepperton Studios, and they said it could have been Palmer Studios, and they said, listen, Mr. De Niro, you're going to meet him, and you're all going to say a line to him, and so he's confident with you, and you're with him. So we come in, and he said, hi, first of all, I want you to call me not Robert De Niro, Mr. De Niro, blah, blah. I answered to Bob. I said, well, that's cool. I said, can't I call you Mr. De Niro? But yeah, it was cool.
So if you ever see De Niro on the street, you say, hey, Bob. Hey, Bob. So, since you landed the role in Harry Potter, it seems like it's just been a snowball effect since then. I mean, every year after that, you've got another bigger, badder role. You were in 3 of the best Matt Smith Doctor Who episodes, right? This guy was the Creature, the Wood King, the Ice Soldier.
Scarlet, yeah.
Yes.
Very confident character he was.
Guardians of the Galaxy, you were the guard that stole the headphones from...
That's right, the mean god. You seen that?
So, and the list just goes on and on and on. So, you've conquered British Welsh kickboxing. You've been in DC, Marvel, Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, Doctor Who, and now Star Wars. So now you've conquered the Nerdville.